So generally, this question come in the mind of devotees. Do I really need Bhakti Shastri? Can't I be just a simple devotee, chant and be happy? Why to study all this and have exams? Is it really required? Many times devotees think that, bhakti, after all, it's just matter of devotion. So why to study, so much? And many times devotees fear also, a lot of exams will be there, a lot of assignments will be there, and I have to read a lot, I have to memorize a lot. And therefore, many devotees, they feel that Bhakti Shastri, is it required or it's an optional thing? So that is a common dilemma in the minds of devotees. So before we go into the main presentation, I was just remembering a small story on this term required. What is actually required? There was a fruit seller. You must have heard this story. It's quite famous. There was a fruit seller who had a nice board with his vegetables, and he wrote there, fresh vegetables sold here. So one man told him, like, we can see your vegetables are fresh. You don't need to write fresh vegetables. So he removed that. Okay, let me eliminate fresh. So he just wrote vegetables sold here. After some time, another person came. He said, we can see you are selling vegetables. Why you want to write vegetables? He said, okay, let me remove that also. So you put only sold here. So then when another man came, he told, everybody know that you are not giving for free, you are selling. So why you want to write here sold here? Remove sold. So he removed sold. Now what remained? Here. So when school child came, he said, why you put here? We know you are selling here, you are not selling there. So why you want to put here? So he removed that also. Now what remained? Only the blank board. So then one person came and told that what kind of foolish person you are. You have such a nice board and you have not written anything. You should advertise your vegetables here. So this happens with us when we start eliminating things. See, actually, if we see, nothing is compulsory. If we see Varnashram means voluntary. Anybody has choice to become Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. One can remain Brahmachari, one can marry and become Grihastha. There is always choice in spiritual path. So it's the matter of personal choice. But we have to see, if we keep on eliminating things, are we really enhancing our devotion to Krishna? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. Should accept what is favorable and reject what is unfavorable. So if our goal is to go back to Godhead, or if our goal is to become a pure devotee or get pure devotion, how much we will eliminate? Like, people may have difficulty rising early in the morning. They say, oh, my health is not good, health is after all a priority. Let me skip rising early in the morning. Okay. Now somebody may have distracted chanting. So you may say, oh, I can't chant properly. After all, Krishna sees intentions, and there's so many services going on in my mind. I can't focus. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu anyway told, na niyamita smarane na kala. There are no rules and regulations for chanting the holy name. So anyway, even if I chant holy name distracted, what is the big deal? So people may give excuse for anything. Going to temple for service. No, I can't go to temple for service because there's family, there is duty, there is job. And after all, there's so many devotees there. I can do manas seva. I can do service in my mind. So people can give excuse there also. Eating food outside. No, Prabhu, there are emergency many times. We have to work as per time, place, circumstances. People can give that excuse also. Similarly, when it comes to reading Shastras, reading scriptures, there are many difficulties which people feel. They think that, oh, anyway, if I serve nicely, Divyan Hriday Prakashita, the spiritual knowledge will manifest in my heart. So why I should read, why I should study? It's too much for me. So their mentality is like monkeys doing Ekadashi. There is a small story. One time, in forest, some monkeys came together and they thought that we will do Ekadashi. We'll do fast on Ekadashi. They decided, they were sitting on the day of Ekadashi, they were sitting together and they thought, oh, Ekadashi we have started, but when we fast, we'll become weak. And when we'll become weak, how we'll climb on trees and pluck fruits for Dwadashi? So let us sit on the trees itself. So they all sat on the tree. Then they thought, after fasting, we'll become so weak that we'll not have any power to pluck the fruits also. So let us pluck the fruits and keep. So as soon as fast will be over, on Dwadashi we will eat. So they plucked fruits and kept with them. One another monkey said, you have no experience of Ekadashi. If you'll not eat whole day, you'll become so weak that you cannot chew the fruits also. So let us keep in mouth and chew. As soon as Ekadashi will be over, we will just put it inside. So then they started chewing and their Ekadashi is gone. Their fast was complete. So like that, we have to be determined in whatever we do. Therefore, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Siddhant baliya chitte na karo alas. Yahaite Krishna lagi sudrida manas. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, be determined to understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. We should not be lazy to learn the Siddhanta, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Why? Yahaite Krishna lagi sudrida manas. By studying this philosophy, our attention, our focus, our memory will be fixed, our mind and senses will be fixed in the remembrance of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada emphasized a lot on this. One time Srila Prabhupada called all the leading devotees of ISKCON in one room. And Prabhupada was in a very grave mood. He asked, how many of you know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead? So all devotees raised their hands. Of course, they knew Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Prabhupada asked, how many of you believe Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead? Nobody could raise hand. After all, raising hand in front of Srila Prabhupada on a question like this is not easy. Nobody raised hand. Yes. The day you believe Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, you can conquer the world in 18 days. You can preach Krishna consciousness all over the world just in 18 days. That was Srila Prabhupada. So he established these courses so that we enrich ourselves with the teachings of Krishna consciousness. We become equipped with the knowledge of Parampara so that when we preach, even for our own devotional service, we remain very pakka and fixed. Can somebody read this quotation from Srila Prabhupada? Anyone? Anyone devotee can read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Sardarshan Prabhu. Yes,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Okay, September 1955. If you become preacher member, in that case, you will have to pay once ₹10 only for the degree of Bhakti Sastri, which will be awarded to you by registered certificate of degree for your becoming preaching member of the League and doing the necessary preaching work on behalf of the League. The preaching work is conducted as follows. As soon as you get the certificate of degree of Bhakti Shastri, at once you become a bona fide preacher of this institution, and for this you will have to read Bhagavad Gita regularly. Thank you, Prabhu.
Now there is one interesting thing about this quotation. If you note, this quotation is from 1955. This is 10 years before Srila Prabhupada actually went to United States of America. This is 10 years before Srila Prabhupada even planned to open ISKCON. He was running League of Devotees in Jhansi, India. And there only he established this course, Bhakti Sastri. that all members who want to become preachers, bona fide preachers, they should learn the Bhagavad Gita and other bona fide scriptures, get the Shastri, Bhakti Shastri degree, and then they can preach. Because preaching is our family business. So no ISKCON devotee can tell that, no, I don't want to be preaching. But even then, for our own personal bhakti also, this Bhakti Shastri is very, very important. This is in 1976, 10 years after Prabhupada established ISKCON. Then also Prabhupada was very particular about this Bhakti Shastri. So any other devotee would like to read this quotation? Anyone else? Yes, Vidura Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Sometimes there is a criticism that our men are not sufficiently learned, especially the Brahmanas. Of course, second initiation does not depend upon passing an examination. How one has molded his life, chanting, attending arti, etc. These are essential. Still, Brahmana means Pandita. Therefore, I am suggesting examination, Bhakti Sastri, for all Brahmanas, based on Bhagavad Gita, Sri Upanishad, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and all the small paper books, Bhakti Vaibhav, the above, plus first six cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti Vedanta, the above plus canto 7 to 12 Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti Sarvabhauma, the above plus Chaitanya Charitamrita. These titles can correspond to entrance BA, MA, PhD, so just consider how to organize this institute. Letter to Swarup Damodar, Bombay, 10 January 1976. Hare Krishna.
So Srila Prabhupada compared these degrees, these courses, to entrance, bachelor's, master's, and PhD. So Bhakti Shastri is what? Is entrance. It's an entrance course in the preaching field. So when we do that, we gain this knowledge of scriptures with practical application point of view, with philosophical point of view, with preaching point of view, with understanding. All aspects are covered through a course. See, when we read a book, we are just reading it with our limited understanding. But when the devotees come together in a systematic course, then the understanding is enhanced. But the only fear is it must be very difficult. Let us discuss some common difficulties. The major difficulty is I am too busy. What if I will not be able to complete the course? What if I become sick in between and miss some classes? What will happen if my attendance is not complete? I am too busy after all. This is the first excuse. Another problem which devotees may feel is, I fear to speak. I know Bhakti Shastri, they will make me speak. I don't want to speak. So what to do? Some people, they hide behind somebody so that the speaker doesn't ask them. Some question whenever in class you must have experienced. Some people, they sit in a way, the speaker cannot see them. They have stage fear, they have fear of limelight. Will I be made to speak a lot or something? Another fear, there must be assignments. Don't ask me to write anything. I don't like to write. I don't want to make, my bhakti complicated. These are some common problems. And there are many phobias. As we know, some people are afraid of heights. Some people are afraid of injections. Some people are afraid of aeroplanes. But there is special phobia called examophobia. This is the biggest problem. When we talk of Bhakti Shastri, this is the biggest problem people feel. They think that, there is fear of exams. There will be exams? Really? Will I be able to pass them? What if I fail? What will devotees think? How I'll face them? is another phobia. Let us discuss them one by one. I am too busy. Prabhupada would often quote this English saying, God help those who help themselves. It's never about time, it's about priority. No matter how busy we are, in night we can't sleep without checking our phone because we know checking phone is priority. This simple understanding, most of the devotees here are grihasthas. If we ask them, when they were not having children, they were married and they were not having children. At that time, were they completely free? They were not free. They're busy with their jobs, their careers, their duties. But when they got children, how they got time for their children? Because they understand giving time to children is very, very important. In the same way, this course is very important for our devotional life. See, anyway, we have to study Srila Prabhupada books. Prabhupada expected all his followers to study his books every day. Otherwise, Prabhupada wrote in Chaitanya Charitamrita one purport. Prabhupada said, if you don't read my books, you will simply eat, sleep, and fall down. This is what Prabhupada told. So Prabhupada wanted all of us to read his books deeply. But if we cannot do it ourselves, this course will help us to do that. See, in this whole course, 85% of attendance is compulsory. 15% we understand that somebody sometimes have urgent work or they become sick, is understandable. But there will be recordings which will be provided so that if you miss a class, you can hear that recording also. But 85% live attendance is expected so that you participate in the discussion, you can ask the questions and understand the subject matter nicely. So it's not a very difficult thing. It will be thrice a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll have only 1.5 hours to 2 hours, thrice a week. And this course will go on for 5 months, 5.5 months. So in our whole life, 100 years of life, we give 5 months for studying scriptures, that too thrice a week, that too only a couple of hours. That's not a big deal. Then, speaking. See, nobody will put you on the spot, like you have to give a lecture or something. But there will be small things, like when we have offline Bhakti Sastri courses, we make students to make little skits, group discussions, whole class discussion, little debates. They draw little charts and drawings, presentations. But good news is this is an online course, so we can't have most of it. Only thing we do is we divide the class in different rooms and we give small topics so that 4 or 5 students in one room on Zoom itself, they discuss on a topic and one of them present as a speaker. So it's not a very difficult thing, but it helps to understand the subject matter nicely. And we help each other to understand. And also we give chance for those who want to learn preaching, because it is like a closed room practice. Nobody is judging each other here. We are in a classroom. We are learning to speak. So before we go out and preach, this will be a nice practice inside, within our close circle, to practice speaking. And best part is, these activities, group discussions and exercises, they doesn't let class become boring. How much a teacher will speak after all, for 2 hours, but these activities keep on, keep the interest high. About the assignments, good news about assignments is they are open book assignments. You can open the books, you can take help of different devotees, you can take help of internet, and you get whole 1 month to write one assignment. One assignment is 750 words. 750 words means hardly 1 page. So you get whole 1 month to write 1 page, and you can use books, you can use devotees' help, you can take internet, anything you can use. It's an open book assignment. Main purpose of these assignments are to understand how much we can present our philosophy in our own words. That's the only thing. That if somebody asks us, okay, what do you understand in Krishna consciousness? So we can present the philosophy in our own words. So there are only 5 assignments, 1 month for each assignments, because the course is of 5 months. After each month, we have to submit 1-page assignment, which we can take help of different devotees. And there will be an exclusive session on how to write assignments, where devotees will be taught how exactly they need to write the assignments, which is again not a very difficult part. Now about exams. Another good news, exams will be online. Only one offline exam will be there, which will be at the end of the course. But after each module, there are 5 modules in Bhakti Sastri. So after each module, there will be online test. This online test, generally, devotees complete in less than 10 minutes. It's a multiple choice exam. You just have to tick the right answers. It's an online paper. So very easily devotees pass this. Nothing to fear. The whole purpose of Bhakti Shastri is not to complicate devotees' life. The whole purpose of Bhakti Shastri is to create interest in devotees to study Srila Prabhupada books. So these exams will be just an impetus for us to learn. If there will be no exam, we will not learn. So these exams will be online, only 10 minutes exam, multiple choice questions. And that too, it's not that you will be given a book, okay, this is whole book, and you write from this book and you just study and we will be having exam. No, you will get a student handbook. This is a 100-page handbook in which there are many notes, there are charts, there are various bullet points, and within this only there are question bank. So I have displayed here one question bank of unit 5. So there are 17 questions here. You just have to prepare these 17 questions. There are only questions given, answers are not given. So you have to search the answers in Ishopnishad. This is an exam question bank of Ishopnishad. You have to write the answers. And these 17 questions will only become the basis of the exam. That's it. You don't have to study the whole book for exam. Just this question bank, and you have to appear for exam from this. But what about shloka test? We heard that we have to memorize a lot of shlokas. What to do about shlokas? Shloka test also will not be that complicated. Nobody is asking us to remember 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. No. From each unit, we have selected very, very important verses, which are very helpful for day-to-day preaching and application. So like there is unit 3, Bhagavad Gita, 13 to 18 chapters. From whole 6 chapters, we have only selected 9 verses. So you will get whole 1 month to remember these 9 verses. And when the shloka test will be there, you will be asked to decide 1 verse from these 9 verses. Is it that difficult? Not that difficult to remember. So many, the only selected verses out of so many. Now I will tell you what is the passing criteria. So this is the weightage of the assessments. Open book assessment, which is open book as the name suggests. You can refer any book and just write the answer for this question. This open book carries 65% weightage of passing marks. Closed book means online exam. That is only 20%. Shloka memorization 10% and class attendance 5%. Here it is written attendance in temple program, but we don't have that offline course. So we have class attendance 5%. Now, if we just submit open book assessment and attend class, we make 70%. Rest is our shloka and closed book assessment. So till now, hardly anybody failed in Bhakti Shastri. This is from last 10 years from Ujjain. Hardly anybody failed in Bhakti Shastri because the criteria is kept very realistic, very practical, so that devotees don't fear from attending this course. They feel inspired to study Srila Prabhupada books. And ultimately, this learning becomes fun because there is nobody to judge us. We are at home, we are with devotees, we are interacting with each other to learn Srila Prabhupada's teachings. So this will be more of a fun learning than to be a competitive exam, nothing like that. Let's end with these quotations of Srila Prabhupada. Bharat Krishna Prabhu, would you like to read? Please unmute.
Any moment I can die. That's a fact. If you don't take seriously like that any moment I can die. So Parikshit Maharaj had the opportunity of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. So I do not know whether we will have the opportunity for reading Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 minutes. So let me read it very seriously. That should be our attitude. Do you read? So if you don't read, then you will feel restless. Oh, let me go from Japan to India, from India to Japan. You're restless because you don't read. I am laboring so hard for you, but you don't take advantage. Don't take advantage of eating and sleeping. Take advantage of these books. So these are the lectures, from, the first one on the left, lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.25, LA, June 23rd, 72. And the right one is the lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.6 to 14, Tokyo, May 2nd, 1972, both are in 1972, May and June. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
So now I open for questions. Devotees have any questions? I hope I have not made devotees more confused. The purpose of this whole presentation was that we understand this Bhakti Sastri, very realistic course, is designed in a way that all devotees can learn. You will be astonished that even like devotees who never went to school, those devotees also completed Bhakti Sastri. And His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj is so particular. He never gave Brahman initiation to anybody without Bhakti Shastri. So when in Ujjain, there's so many devotees came, they were not learned, some of them could not write their name. Them also Guru Maharaj encouraged you to Bhakti Shastri, and they also completed this course. So at least I expect all these devotees present here, they are much more learned than those devotees. And we can take this as an opportunity to study Srila Prabhupada books deeply. As Prabhupada told in quotation, Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days. We may not have 7 minutes also. We should take this opportunity seriously. Already we have spent so many years in Krishna consciousness. Now we should take opportunity, study Srila Prabhupada books nicely. And if in the course of doing this whole Bhakti Shastri, if we develop interest in reading Srila Prabhupada books, that will be success. The certificate is not important. We all will get certificate. But if real certificate of Bhakti Shastri is, if we get interest in studying Srila Prabhupada books, so that will be lifelong asset. That is the whole purpose of this course. So if anybody has any comments, questions, clarifications, we can discuss.
Can I ask that
Yes.
the content of the course, is it given at the very outset, or do we go by installment that every month we would be given?
So the handbook is given in the beginning of the course itself. So you have all the materials in the beginning, but the presentations, the PPTs, they are shared by the teacher only after the end of each module. So say I have completed Nectar of Instruction, then I will share you the presentations of Nectar of Instruction. But the student handbook you get in the beginning itself. So for the whole course, you have the student handbook, and Prabhupada books are available for sure. They are the main basis of the course.
Okay, thank you.
Will it handbook be sent? You'll be sending it by mail, or it is hard copy we sending from Ujjain?
See, this is soft copy. Generally, we circulate soft copy, and devotees can print there itself, or I mean, because sending from here, will be too much of shipping. So devotees can print
Okay.
there itself. That will be a good idea. It's just 100 pages booklet. Devotees can print it, or else soft copy is they're comfortable in soft copy. That is fine.
Okay, thank you.
We have some other reference material also, like some lecture recordings, some PPTs and other things. That also we share on Google Drive. So devotees can have access to that material also. Any other devotee want to say something?
So when are you planning to start this, Prabhuji? On 17th of January, something like that?
Yeah, so let me just open that. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the draft schedule of the course. We are planning to start it on 23rd of January. That will be orientation class. As we discussed, every week 3 classes, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So like that, there will be Unit 1, Unit 2. In between, there are some holidays, like Gaur Purnima is on Tuesday, so we'll not have class on that day. There will be exams. Of course, these exams are not that tough as we discussed. They are just online multiple choice questions. Is another holiday on Nirjala Ekadashi, just like Monkey Ekadashi we discussed. Then there is Rath Yatra Day, and the course will end on the 5th of July. So this is the draft schedule, whole schedule. So you know which day, which unit, which lesson we are planning.
And the final exam, it would be offline, as you said.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think we should hold it on a Saturday or Sunday, because we have to rent everyone will be free, and then we have to rent a school classroom to hold this. So during weekdays, it won't be practical for devotees.
We can do that. We can do that because it's offline.
Uh-huh.
Whatever is comfortable for all devotees, we can fix a date and they can come and appear for that exam. Again, that exam will not be that complicated, but as the part of the course, it is expected that students come offline at least once for the exam. So that is just a kind of ritual for Bhakti Sastri.
Prabhuji is very well organized, I must say. I mean, you have gone through this, and I believe you're running this, and it is, to me, it's very, very well organized. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
And another things, Prabhuji, just for a criteria, a clarification.